Well, greetings, faithful followers. I'm Brother Jack Angry, and this is Inferno, the cougar from hell.
Hello, everyone.
And we wanted to take a minute here to give a special shout out to a good friend of ours, our friends at the Shilling Shockers TV show, namely Penny Dreadful the 13th, and her husband and sidekick, Guru the Werewolf. Their real-life counterparts, Danielle Gallagher and Magoo Gallagher, you know, they've had some rough times over the last year or so. Her husband, Magoo, who plays Guru the Werewolf, has been battling cancer, and as you know, with this kind of an illness and the treatments you have to go through to keep it at bay, obviously that takes a toll on a person emotionally, physically, and most importantly, financially.
Family.
Yes, and it takes a toll on the family. I know Penny's, or Danielle has taken up, to try and do her best to cover any lost income by working more than one job. And that's been especially hard on her, and, we salute her for that, and Magoo for everything he does. That's why we want to tell you about a site on GoFundMe.com. It's Magoo's medical expenses, and we'll be putting a link here at the bottom of this announcement here, and it may be on the screen right now. I'm sure you'll be able to see it, but please take a moment to go to the site, follow that link, and donate what you can, even if it's just a few dollars or as little as $5. Every little bit helps. This is going to help Magoo recap or recover what he's lost for wages, what he's lost for. It's going to help make his medical expenses, and it's going to help with the things, give him the peace of mind that he can concentrate on his fight and hopefully make a full recovery. And that's what we're all pulling for here. The crew, myself, Inferna, Brother James, Torrid, Dedra, we're all pulling for Magoo to make a complete recovery. And for him to do that, he's got to focus 100% on fighting his illness and coming back better and stronger than before in 2014, and we want to help that happen. So even if you can't donate, or you can only donate a few bucks, if you can't donate, then spread this around. Like this video on Facebook. Share it with your friends, your family, your Facebook friends, your Twitter friends. Let's get Magoo the support he needs to beat this and to come back stronger than ever. So, I'm Brother Jack Angry, along with Inferna, and from the rest of the crew here at the Angry Brothers Omaha Shakarama. Magoo, keep fighting. Hang in there, buddy. We've all got your back on this.
Show support that there's people out there that actually care.
That's
when
right.
In that situation.
And we know that, I check the site every day, and we know that many of you care. A lot of you have donated. They're at over 50% towards their goal. So with a little bit more love, a little more support, we can get them to where they need to be so that Magoo can focus on his recovery without having to worry about covering these expenses. And we're going to do everything we can, and we hope you will too. So thank you, and enjoy. Well, greetings, faithful followers. This is your old pal, Brother Jack Angry, along with the return of our good friend Ash, one of the Devil Sisters.
I'm back!
And doesn't she look lovely?
Oh, why thank you.
Yes, and so you heard that you'd gotten promoted you started out running the East Coast office for Down Below. Then they promoted you up to the West Coast, and that didn't work out so great. What happened?
Well, let's just say the grass isn't always greener on the other side. The place was absolutely crawling with cockroaches, and I'm not just talking about the little bugs that run around and get into your kitchen and into your furnace. No, I'm not just talking about those, because they've got plenty of those, and well, we all know that kind of everywhere has those, but I'm talking about the people. The people were like cockroaches. I mean, just everywhere. The interstates, they're like parking lots, and just the thick cloud of smog, and oh, it was absolutely disgusting. I couldn't stand it any longer. I decided that I want to be far more spread out from people than I was when I was there. And so I'm back
here at the Monastery of Mayhem and deep in the bowels of Omaha, Nebraska.
Well, and I really, really was excited to be back, but I mean, I don't know how you subhumans deal with this cold, frigid weather, polar vortex. What the hell is that? I've never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, well, the polar vortex, yeah, that's just another way of saying, holy shit, it's cold out there.
It is really, really, really cold. And, you know, I hate the snow. I really hate the snow. We haven't gotten a whole lot of that this year. I mean, yeah, it did snow like once or twice, but I really just can't deal with the cold. It just doesn't settle well with me.
Well, yes, Brother Jack has frozen a few things off in this weather recently. You know, it's like...
Is he cold-blooded like I am?
Well, it's, I'm an undead monk, you know. Cold is supposed to stave off the decay, but you go outside and things freeze and fall off. Not a good thing, you know.
Not a good thing, no. And I know about that, a little about that myself. I mean, my bosom freezes up in the cold, and it is very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable.
Yes, and if you want to write us care of the show saying how you would warm up Ash's bosoms, we'll be happy to pass those letters on to her. But anyway, welcome back, honey. We have missed you. I'm sorry Inferna couldn't be here, but she'll be on next week's episode. And
see Inferna.
Yes, and she's missed you. And we've got to get the whole gang together for our big 100th anniversary show, and that's going to be coming up here. Tonight's movie is Nightmare Castle from 1965.
1965.
Yes, 1965. And that stars Barbara Steele.
Hey, is that older than you, or are
Well,
you...
let's see. It's like when I was born, you know, they wore those high ruffled collars and... You know, it's...
So you're a dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm pretty ancient, you know. I'm the original old fart. You look up the phrase cantankerous old bastard in the dictionary, and there's my picture, you know. Pretty much. But, hey, I've hung around. I'm like the cockroaches. They'll never get rid of me.
Not even an atomic bomb could get rid of this guy. Believe me, I've tried.
Yeah, it's we've been finding your little unexploded devices all over the Monastery of Mayhem here. And where did you learn that? I mean, did you spend time with the IRA or something?
I worked with the CIA a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a little bit, you know, it's like, well, you know, we found bombs wired to the toilet seats, for God's sakes.
Oh, that was... Just for entertainment.
Yeah, that was in Brother James's bathroom, too.
Well, it was the stench was unbearable. I mean, what was I to do but build a bomb and explode the whole thing? I mean, yeah, we did have to call a service, a Roto-Rooter, whatever it was, to come and clean it up, but... I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't have any regrets about it.
Well, I'm sure Brother James did when he sat down. I mean, we haven't seen an explosion like that since the last time he had bad Mexican food.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like it was ugly. It was really ugly. But anyway, tonight's movie is Nightmare Castle from 1965. This black and white feature stars Barbara Steele. She plays the wife of a sadist. Her husband is a rather sadistic bastard. He suspects her of cheating on him with another man. And if I understand this correctly, he imprisons both of them and subjects both of them to rather varied and quite creative acts of torture in efforts to punish them for their supposed infidelity.
This is kind of turning me on. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's like
kind of erotic.
Yeah, it's like she's kinky, people.
Hot in here?
Yeah,
Or is it just me?
Well, no, you're hot without a doubt, but yeah, it's like.
What is it, like 5 degrees outside? You would never be able to tell right here.
Well, it's like nature's little thermometers would tell us, you know.
Okay, Beavis.
Yes, it's like, sorry, discovering my inner child there, and
So question for you now. If you say that just some crazy miracle happened and you happened to find a woman and you were both married and you were very happy together and she was as beautiful as Barbara Steele is in the movie, and she cheated on you with another man. What would you do? How would you remedy the situation? How would you punish her? Or would you punish her?
How would I?
Or would you be turned on?
Well, unless I got asked to join in, but.
Well, no, this is totally behind your back.
Okay,
you found out about it after the fact.
Totally behind my back.
And it was like the best shag of her life. And it wasn't with you, it was with another man. What would you do? How would you punish her?
Well, I'm thinking that basically, well, you know what? My old Granny Angry used to have a saying when dealing with those kind of girls. She'd always used to say she'd love to sew it up and put a little straw in it so they could pee out of it, and that would be the extent of it, you know?
Oh, okay. So you would let her live. You would let her live.
To a point, you know.
Would you stay married to her, or?
Well, trust me, these days it is cheaper to kill them.
That is true.
You know, it's true. Yes, it's.
Well, I'll tell you what I would do. I'll tell you what I would do. If I had a guy, if I had a husband, and he ever cheated on me, like without my knowledge, you know, because if I knew about it, okay, maybe that's a different story. But if I found out about it after the fact, I think the only solution to that would be that I would chop his balls off and feed them to him. And then I would laugh maniacally as he bleeds to death.
Okay. Well, okay, let's analyze that whole statement there, hon. First off, any man who would cheat on you would have to be blind, stupid, and basically saying a man would cheat on you is like saying you're the smartest kid with Down syndrome.
Well, I mean, any red-blooded man, you know, has their temptations, I suppose.
Well, yes, but the only guy I know who would cheat on you would be a certain person, you know, red hair, wears a lab coat, you know. And speaking of that, friends, always remember Brother Jack's cardinal rules. A, it's always better to ask for forgiveness than for permission, and friends don't let friends wear lab coats.
So you're saying that it is better to tell them after the fact and ask for forgiveness rather than to ask for permission to.
Well, in your case, it would be. Well, in your case, hon, it would be beg for forgiveness. It's like
beg for forgiveness.
Yes, it's like I must get out of my
macheting your balls off of your body.
Whoa! Let's not always be dissing on the balls now. It's like
no, I mean, hey, that's.
Yeah, it's like the first thing. What is it with you women? The first thing you do is you make threats against the balls. It's dick or ball threats, you know.
Well, I guess that's all.
Don't worry, guys. She's joking.
What else could we do that would really take away from your existence as a male so much as taking away your manhood?
Fucking up our credit ratings. You're very good at that.
Well, that is something. That is a completely different story. Not that I had anything to do with that.
Yes.
Not anything to do with your credit score being the way
no, my
it is or anything
score,
like that.
My credit score has been fucked up since the dawn of time. I don't worry about that. But we're gonna...
Okay, so what I did doesn't really make a difference.
No, and we'll get back to this interesting discussion at the break here, but tonight's movie, Nightmare Castel with Barbara Steele, here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Shakarama, and Movie Night live from the Monastery of Mayhem. I'm Brother Jack Angry, along with the very lovely, luscious Ash, the Devil's sister. Enjoy. Well, greetings, faithful followers. Welcome back. What did you think of Nightmare Castel? Isn't that movie scary? I mean, we've got Barbara Steele, being strung up and tortured by her sadistic husband. And we have the undead ghost of her sister come back because the husband killed her. Also,
this is something that could really happen, like in real life.
Well, yes, it could. I mean, let's face it, people and jealousy go back a long way. I mean, it started with that whole Cain and Abel thing. The co-star, the male lead in this film, Frederick Muller, was famous for working with Hammer Productions in the 60s and up through the mid-70s, towards the end of the Hammer Studios life cycle. He was always famous for playing the leading man, playing the villain, playing whatever role that Hammer required. He kind of filled the same niche that Vincent Price did with American International Pictures. Barbara Steele, who we all know is an acclaimed horror actress and just as lovely a woman now as she was back then, I did have the opportunity to see her at some conventions that I went to in the past.
Oh, lucky you.
Yes.
Was that when I was out of town doing my business on the West
No, that was before I started, we started doing the show. I mean, it was back in my days when I was a happy, footloose wanderer, you know, as opposed to the, you know, fucked up life I lead now. But anyway.
Yeah, with the Obamacare and everything.
Yes, it's like, thank you, Obama. You know, it's like I was reviewing my insurance and, you know, when I come down to it, I found that the best way to use my insurance was not to get sick, you know. And if you do get sick, God help you.
Yeah, I mean, I am fortunate enough to have my own policy that covers quite a vast amount of services, but, you know, who knows how long that's going to last.
Well, that's true. I mean, it's like insurance, it's here today, gone tomorrow. Hopefully when the dust settles out and we've got a new man in the White House, they'll rethink this lunacy and get rid of the Obamacare and give us back our regular insurance. We want it back. Really, really we do.
Well, another thing I would like to mention to you.
Uh-oh.
It's a little off topic.
Okay, that's
But I was going to kind of ask you a little bit of a personal question, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Since I've been gone for so long, I haven't seen you in a while. I noticed you've been pretty nice to me lately since I've been back. Did you miss me?
Yes, we did miss you. I mean, all of our fans missed you. We've had lots of letters to the lots of comments to the Facebook page, lots of letters and emails to the show. Well, it's like, you know, when you were out on the West.
People actually watch this show.
Yes.
People actually watch this show.
Yes, they do.
This is news to me.
Well, there's one little redhead-haired hater that we're making very nervous, and he knows who he is, so we're not going to go into that any further.
Those gingers, they don't have souls. It's true. It's absolutely true. This is scientifically proven. This is scientific fact.
Yes, the only ginger we ever really liked was Karen Gillian, who played Amy Pond on season.
Still crazy. All redheads are still crazy.
Yes.
They may be.
I'm sure we all know a crazy redhead.
Some are crazy in a good way, you know.
Yes.
Some are kind of freaky in a good way, but nonetheless, they're all still crazy.
Well, you know, it's the red hair. You know, it's got to be. It's a genetic thing. Blame the Irish. Anyway, so Ash, now that you're back here in Omaha, I take it you're going to be wanting your old room at the monastery back, or?
Actually, yes. I was going to. Actually, no, I don't want my old room. You know, being in a cold, dark chamber, it had its moments, you know, my college party days. Of course it was fun in its heyday, but I'm kind of past that now, and I think I'm definitely going to demand that you give me the master bedroom as well as the master bathroom, and I also would like kitchen privileges. Actually, I'm not even asking you, I'm just telling you that I've already moved my stuff in there and it's ready to go. Your junk is out in the hallway.
My junk?
In boxes. Well, maybe not all of it. Some of it I kind of just threw out there, you know, kind of carelessly or whatever. I can't guarantee that it's all still together or anything. The blow-up dolls weren't actually blown up, were they?
Well, I've had my Marilyn Chambers Memorial blow-up doll.
Those ones.
That's a limited edition. television.
I was using those as voodoo dolls. I know somebody who looks kind of similar to that, and I was doing some type of spells and voodoo. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, it's like, if you put a mark on Maryland, I'm going to be really unhappy with that. Well, I guess I can bunk with Brother James, although his...
She's still doable. I mean, got more holes in her now.
Yeah,
so.
no, great. Well, it's like, I'm not going to get my deposit back from the real doll people, but, oh well, there's $3,000 down the crapper.
This $3,000 you're never going to get back.
Yes,
you should have got it insured.
Yeah, it's like, I want to explain that to my agent.
You could have got a hooker for less than that.
Well, it's like, this is Omaha. All the decent looking hookers are guys in dresses.
That is true. I have seen some very, very sexy looking male hookers and...
Yeah, and it's like, isn't that a shame, people?
There's some very attractive ones.
Well, before...
Very convincing.
Yes, before Brother Jack starts crying his eyes out here, we're going to get back to the movie Nightmare Castle here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Shakorama. Enjoy. Damn, I love that doll.
It's too bad. I mean, I really just kind of had my way with her. And
You brute!
I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. I mean, you had it just laying there, and she was just asking for it. She had her mouth wide open and everything.
She was not just laying there, she was posed.
Yes,
You beast!
She was asking for it. Exactly.
Yes, she was asking for it. I'm just too emotional.
Yeah,
we'll get back to the movie.
Get back to the movie. Get back to the movie.
Yes, we'll get back to the movie
later. Stop crying.
I'm broken up. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Jesus.
Oh my God, she's dead. She's dead. You killed her. You brute.
I cannot believe you're going to have a funeral for a blow-up doll. Who does that? Who does that?
She was my soulmate.
Oh my God, we didn't even have a going away party for me when I left town, and you're going to have a funeral for a blow-up doll? I mean, come on, that's pathetic. I am going to buy you a prostitute. I am sick of this. I can't take this anymore. Do I still know any of those girls? I think I might. From the club, I think I do. I think I know some.
Well, it's like, all right, we'll talk. I'll give you a list of specifications when we're done with filming. But I don't want a guy in a dress, okay? It's like, and check for the Adam's apple, okay?
All right, I will do that. I will test it out.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
So I guess that takes care of my next question, or what my next question would have been, which was, have you gotten any of that sweet poontang since I've been gone?
This is Omaha. I don't even think the phrase sweet poontang should be mentioned in the same breath.
Oh, come on. So you didn't consider your blow-up doll to be sweet poontang?
Well, she sat there so quiet. She looked so nice. She didn't bother me. She didn't nag me. She didn't screw my friends behind my back. She didn't spend my money,
That's true.
If I stayed out late, she never said a word. She was the perfect woman.
Well, she still is. She's just got more holes in her now.
Yeah, it's like you put a hole right in the middle of her forehead. You know how distracting that is? I'm going to have to put a bag over her head now.
Oh, well, that's nice. I mean, that's still doable, though. I mean, you could still...
I haven't had to put a bag over anyone's head since my last wife.
Ooh.
And that was back in the 1600s,
That's kind of kinky, actually.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was, it's like you had to put a bag over her. You actually had to double bag her in case the first one fell off.
Oh, no.
And then I had to put a bag.
What kind of bags were they? Were they like burlap bags, plastic bags?
It's something you can't see through.
Something you can't see through, like a paper bag.
Well, they didn't. Yeah, no, it wasn't really a paper bag. It was kind
burlap.
of a burlap bag, tied tightly around the edge. It's like.
If you really want to.
The safety word was banana.
Provide some luxury. You could do like a silk bag.
Well, it's like.
Bag.
Yeah, it's like. Silk bag, yeah, it's like, you know what, well, silk was pretty expensive back then, and frankly, she was ugly, it's like...
Why'd you marry her?
You know, I have been asking myself that question for about 200 years now, and I really can't come up with a decent answer. It seemed like a good, if I recall, it seemed like a good idea at the time. But then again, so did the Black Plague to someone, I'm sure. So it's like, I don't know.
So did Obamacare. Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
It's like somebody thought it was going to, it looked good on paper.
Yeah.
But anyway, faithful followers, that concludes our movie, Nightmare Castle, starring Barbara Steele and Frederick Mueller. What did you think of that? I mean, he basically tortured them to death, and the number he did on her face, I mean, we got to give the makeup department 2 thumbs way, way up for that film, because they just uglied the crap out of her. You know, it's like, and she looked like 2 miles of bad road, or I should say 2 miles of Dodge Street in the summertime.
Don't talk about Barbara Steele that way.
You know, she's a lovely actress, though, but...
I'm going to tell her you said that.
Well, it's like, hey, they did a great job with her makeup.
Oh.
And speaking of makeup, we've talked about that you want to be at you're going to be at the Zombie Walk this year.
Oh, well, I was going to go to the one last year, but I don't know, it just kind of came up on me real quick, and I just kind of forgot about it or hadn't put it in my schedule. But yes, zombify me. I've never actually dressed up as a zombie before in my life, so this is like totally new to me. I'm probably like the last person in the world to do it, but I think it would be fun.
Well, Brother Jack...
I'm going to be in my bikini.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it's nice out.
Yeah.
Weather permitting.
Weather permitting, of course.
Weather
And
permitting.
Brother Jack and Brother James will be there also, along with Inferno, Torrid, Gulia, and the rest of the crew. So you haters out there, this is your official notice. So look for us, look for the sign, look for our show's logo.
You're just asking for a gang fight. I mean...
Well, it's like, what's the definition of a fair fight, people? I win. All right, so no, we're going to go there and follow all the rules of the Zombie Walk. If anybody wants to make trouble, we'll be fully prepared to respond within the law. And I do know that the Zombie Walks are well patrolled by Omaha's finest, and they'll be brought into it. So
I'm excited for some of that delicious, tasty Benson food.
Yes. Benson food, you know, we got to stop by and see all of our friends at Lovers Luxuries, and
yes,
you know,
I actually have been meaning to make a trip back there.
Yes, it's like we've got to get back there and renew some ties with them.
I need to just go on a total shopping spree at Lovers Luxuries.
Well, it's like, yes, anybody who wants to volunteer to carry Ash's bag of dildos at the...
My big bag of dicks.
Yes, it's like we'll hire some Sherpas.
How do you know about that? I didn't tell you.
No, we still have the webcam in her bedroom. It's still working, by the way.
Oh. Well, this is all coming
late
to
at
an
night.
end. I think I might just need to concoct another explosion.
Well, I still
mean.
remember the clothes vanishing spell. You remember that one?
Yes, I do.
Yes, and by the way, it's like the case of crabs that you gave me finally cleared up. Thank you.
Well, little did you know that I had extracted it biologically and used it against you as a weapon of mass destruction.
Well,
I don't actually have crabs. I just made you believe that I did. It was all part of my
that's why the ointment didn't work. Oh well, never mind. It's like, oh, I can cancel that doctor's appointment now.
Yay! Well, yeah.
But anyway.
Hey, if you get your balls chopped off, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Well, if I got my balls chopped off, I really wouldn't care now, would I?
I guess so.
It's like
You have bigger problems.
I'd suddenly get real interested in sports.
Ooh.
You know, it's like, oh, let's see what the Huskers are doing today. Oh, another group of...
That's when you know something is wrong, is when he's interested in the Huskers game.
Well, yes, it's like Bo Pelini and his cat. He takes his cat with him on recruiting trips. You know, it's like, Bo, I think you're using the wrong kind of pussy for recruiting.
Possibly, yes.
Yes. But anyway, next week, faithful followers, is going to be the 1947 classic starring Dr. Bones McCoy. You know him as DeForest Kelly, Fear in the Night from 1947. That film was the premiere of DeForest Kelly as an actor. It was his first film. We will be bringing you that, and we're going to be bringing you some really great educational and hygiene films from our good friends at Coronet Industries. Now, we've all grown up with these films. They were the safety and hygiene films we all had to watch in school, like What to Do on a Date, How to Be Morally Mature, that's a biggie, and my favorite and yours, the driving film Red Asphalt.
I never was forced to watch any of those growing up.
Well, I grew up on the East Coast.
That probably explains why I turned out the way that I did.
Yes, but but we're not complaining, so.
No.
Anyway, faithful followers, all of that and more here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Shakarama and Movie Night live from the Monastery of Mayhem. Oh, and by the way, before we go, we do want to throw out a shout to our friends Master Vile and Uncle Fright, Tony Medeiros from Fall River, Massachusetts.
Oh, right in the bow-hooies. Oh, God. Oh.
Goodbye, faithful followers.
Oh.
See you next week.
Somebody get me an ice bag. Oh.
Yeah, that's gonna leave a mark.
Oh, yeah, that's going to hurt. Oh, that's going to leave a bruise.
I better go turn the camera off
Yeah.
before they see the rest of this
Yes.
embarrassment. What an atrocity.